In this video, I'm going to teach you how to scream like Olly from Bring Me the Horizon.
And we will never rest till we fucking we will never slide, 'cause that is for the wine. We will never rest till we're fucking dead.
Quick heads up, Olly's styles changed a lot over the years. Early Bring Me used heavy deathcore screams, and that's what we're focusing on today. Modern Bring Me uses more melodic screaming, which I'll link at the end if you want that style instead. Also important, Olly hurt his voice doing this wrong, so before we learn the scream, let's talk about how to avoid that damage. Here's what most people don't know about Olly's vocal damage. It wasn't the screaming, it was more so the yelling. So think about being at a loud party where music's blasting and you're trying to talk to someone. You kind of have to yell over the noise, right? That kind of yelling, where you're forcing your voice and slamming your vocal cords together, that's what causes damage way more than screaming does. In the early days, Olly would try to make his screams sound as brutal as possible by yelling through it, and that's what wrecked his voice. So here's the good news. As long as you're not yelling, you can experiment with screaming without worrying about hurting yourself. And the technique I'm about to show you doesn't use yelling at all. So part 1, learn the false chord scream. Alright, so early Bring Me the Horizon uses something called false chord distortion. And when I first tried learning this, most tutorials told me to do a deep sigh or a bark like a dog. So I tried it, and this is what happened. I barely got any distortion, it was super breathy, and I ran out of air in like 3 seconds. I could maybe get through one phrase before gasping for air.
We will never sleep, cause sleep is for the weak.
The wrong fix that most people try. So I tried fixing these issues the way most people do, by pushing harder from my stomach and using more force. But that doesn't solve the real problem. Think about it like this. If you've got a bike tire with a hole in it, would you just keep pumping more air in? No, you'd patch the hole first, right? Same thing here. Most people are letting too much air leak out when they scream. You don't need more air, you need to stop the air from escaping. The real solution. So here's how we fix the air leak. When most people try and false chord screams, they're too open in their throat. But you actually need to close your throat slightly while making the distortion. Now here's one way to do this. Bend forward at your waist and look down at the ground. Now clear your throat, but make it sound nasal, like the sound is coming through your nose. Now try it with different vowel sounds, E, E, O, and U. The nasal sound is important. Putting it in your nose is how we create that tightening, that compression, the closing of the hole, and that's what stops the air from leaking out. And when you get it right, it should sound crunchy and rumbly. Not like Elmo, or like a buzzery sound. It should sound crunchy and rumbly. Don't try to hold the sound low in your throat, because if you do that, everything gets loose and floppy down there, and all your air escapes. The test to see if you're doing it right. So here's how you know you're doing it. Try to hold that distortion and say A, B, C, D, E, F, G all on one breath. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Most people run out of air by the letter E or F when they first try. But once you get this technique right, you can easily make it to G and way beyond. Believe it or not, I can make it through the entire alphabet all in one breath. And as a result, it was a lot easier to scream through songs without running out of breath. Quick reminder. By the way, this is a lot of information and it's totally normal if you need to re-watch parts of this video. Some of these concepts took me years to really understand it, so feel free to pause and practice each section before moving on. There's no rush. Part 2, making it sound more like Olly. Okay, so now you have a solid false chord scream, but it might not sound like Olly yet. Many of my students at this point sound like this. SOS! Everyone It sounds cool, but it isn't that early Olly sound. So what's missing? Well, Olly sounds a little bit more high-pitched and kind of witchy. So I'm gonna show you how to get those qualities. Step 1, make it higher. So here's a quick trick to make your screams about 50% higher instantly. So instead of using vowel sounds like O and use the ah vowel. Try it first without any distortion. Just use your clean voice. Oh, ah. Do you hear how that got brighter and higher sounding? Now add that false chord distortion that we've just learned to that ah vowel. Ah! That already sounds higher compared to oh. Now step 2. Cool, now your scream is higher, but it's still not witchy yet. Make it sound witchy. Now here's the next trick. Find your Adam's apple, that bump on the front of your throat, and put your fingers on it. Can you move it up and down? So Olly raises his Adam's apple and keeps it up there while screaming. Listen to how much it changes the tone. Before, ah, after, and that's the witchy sound. Now here's a student putting it all together.
We will never sleep, cause sleep is far away. Now we will never rise, till we're fucking dead. We will never sleep, cause sleep is far away. Now we will never rest, till we're fucking dead.
I want to recap. To scream like early Olly Sykes, first, learn the compressed, tightened false chord scream, the kind that doesn't leak air and lets you make it through A, B, C, D, E, F, G all on one breath. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then make it sound like Olly by using the ah vowels and raising your Adam's apple.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
I recommend starting with finding that comfortable, sustainable false chord scream first, and once that feels easy and natural, then experiment with making it higher and more witchy. All right, so if you're running into problems, like your scream is too breathy, you're running out of air, you don't have enough distortion, or you just want different methods to try, I've left a free training in the description. It took me years to figure this stuff out, and I got a lot of confusing advice along the way, so I made that training to be clear and practical, and I hope you get value from it. Okay, so now you know how to do early Olly Sykes heavy deathcore screams, but what about his modern screams? The screams with more melody, pitch, and singing mixed in. I'll show you how to do that in this video right here.
Can you feel